Welcome back to my program. Well, the question being asked all over the country, what's going on with Donald Trump? Is he real? Is he a serious candidate for president? Why on earth would he run for president? And what effect is he going to have on the Republican nomination? Interesting dynamic going on right here. Trump is off the wall. There's no doubt about that. Says whatever comes out of his mouth, and sometimes it's very questionable, the things he says. But when you listen to what he said in his announcement speech, you can see where there's an appeal. First of all, there's a lot of people that just are sick and tired of Washington politics. He's an outsider. He's the anti-incumbent is what he is. And that has a lot of appeal to people that really aren't paying a lot of detailed questions and have information in terms of the candidates, but just feel like I'm just sick and tired of the whole bunch, Democrats and Republicans alike. And that's a big growing group. Every poll shows that it is, and there's growing room for Trump. There was a poll taken just a few days ago up in New Hampshire, one of the very early primaries. He's running a strong second to Jeb Bush up there right now, way ahead of all these other candidates who've been running for months and even years. So he has some appeal because of name recognition. A lot of that is what it is. But when you've got a field of 14 to 20 Republican candidates announcing, then name recognition may get you up in that top tier. Then all of a sudden you're in the debates, and with a good debate performance, then you get some momentum going. Now the question is, can he do well in the debates to get that momentum going? He pushes away a number of other candidates. My governor down in Louisiana, Bobby Jindal, announced just this week for president, and Jindal can't get any traction. He can't get name recognition. He's kind of hollering for some kind of attention. Donald Trump's got his name on buildings all over America, golf courses all over America. He has a built-in attention, a developer, if you will, right from the very get-go. And the other thing he's got going for him is his comments on issues are not that far out of line with what a lot of people think. Immigration, he says, is out of control. There are not just some, but a high percentage of immigrants coming in, bringing no added value into America, criminals, people that have no education. And do we want to bring in illegally millions of new Americans in that regard? When you have millions more who are in line waiting, doing it legally, are well educated, bring some value into America. I can't disagree with that. Trump's making a pretty good point. He talks about the trade deficit, the fact that we have basically outsourced millions and millions of American jobs to China, to India, and to other countries. We've done so because they don't maintain trade barriers. They don't enforce the same restrictions we do on the environment. They pay very low wages. And so the trade deficits are just dramatic. We are paying a lot more out than we're getting in. And as Trump points out, about 1/3 of all the manufacturing jobs in this country today are no longer there, have been sent overseas. So he's got a pretty good issue there. He talks about the infrastructure. Look, anybody that doesn't realize that the American infrastructure is crumbling dramatically is not being realistic. Bridges, roads, our highway system is out of date. He uses, for example, the LaGuardia Airport up in New York City. It's like a third world airport. There are airports all over the world that much more functional and do a much better job. And we have poor airports all over the country. Those of you that travel like me know that. And so he says we've just completely abandoned any thoughts of the infrastructure. So you get away from his pizzazz and from some of his outrageous statements and the things he says about himself, how rich he is. Put that aside and look at issues. You can see where Trump has some appeal. So what he does, I think, in my opinion, is he helps Jeb Bush. Bush has the money. He has the name recognition. And so I think Trump will push to the sidelines a lot of these candidates that are not as well known, as not as well financed. He can finance a lot of the campaign himself. And quite frankly, in the long run, he probably is going to be a major factor if Bush gets the nomination. And I think he's most likely to do so right now. Trump is going to be a leading factor on why he does get the nomination. So don't discount Donald Trump. Can he be elected president? No, he can't. Can he get the nomination? No, I don't believe he can. But he can have a dramatic effect on who is elected president of this country. And that's going to be a factor that all the other candidates vying for the Republican nomination are going to have to fend for and deal with. And it's going to make it very, very interesting in the weeks and months to come. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.